Hello, and welcome to the second video in my Managing Your Mindset video series. So in the first video, which was the Mindset Mastery video, you will be familiar with what a limiting belief is. So in this video, we're going to be looking a bit more at why we have them, and more importantly, how do we get rid of them? We're also going to explore the difference between values and beliefs, because I believe these often get confused. And my aim today is for you to take away a whole new perspective about how you come to your conclusions, why you believe what you believe, how you form judgments, and the fact that you're actually wearing a visible straitjacket without even realizing. Okay, so first, let's be clear what a belief is and what it isn't. And the best way to clear that up is to distinguish between values and beliefs, as they're often used in the same sentence. They're very similar, but they have very different meanings. So I'm going to give you lots of examples so that by the end of this video, you will have absolute clarity about what they are, and you could easily explain it to somebody else. Okay, so let's start with values. Values are principles or standards of behavior, one's judgment of what is important in life, i.e., they internalize their parents' rules and values. So what we are brought up into is somebody else's values that we have learned. And often they are passed down from generation to generation. So for example, if your parents believed that to live a life serving God, and that was the most important part of their existence, then their values would mirror that. So their values would be about attending your place of worship, about your practices, about the amount of time you pray, etc., etc. So just to be clear, the beliefs come before the values. Okay, so the beliefs underpin the value. So you're believing something, and then the value is the practice of that, the implementation of that. Okay, so for example, if you have a negative self-image and a very negative set of limiting beliefs about yourself, about your abilities, your potential, you will struggle to have established, clear values. Hence why so many people hit a brick wall or get to that place of feeling lost, because there's just something missing. There's something at their core, something at their foundation that is not giving them that sense of purpose, that sense of direction, that sense of vision. So values are very, very important, but this is a good way to show the damage that limiting beliefs can do, because they can strip you of any personal values. The other point I want to note as well is learning about values. You could split it up into two areas. There's the personal values, and then there's the societal or universal values. So, for example, I didn't learn many values at home. I learned most of my values at school and as an employee, and they were very much based on concepts, you know, about fairness, equality, honesty, faithfulness, conservation of the environment. But they were all very generic and universal, and they were detached and devoid of personal investment. So really, your values are largely attached to your lifestyle. It's your chosen habits and routines. So it's what you love to do, what you feel is important. But equally, it's a result of your limiting beliefs. So for example, if I believe that I am important, that I am valuable, that I'm worthy of love, I will ensure my values incorporate self-care routines. So last slide on values before we move on. So values do affect your motivation, and you could say that a value is the acting force between a person and the relationship he or she has with the motive of their life. So every decision is based on your values, realized or not. And you could say often with the absence of values is what leads people to feeling a little bit lost or at odds, just not sure exactly what path they're on or what their focus is or what their vision is. And again, communication problems arise within, like internally, as well as externally, because the values are at odds. Okay, so before we move on to beliefs, I have a small reflective task for you. Okay, so ideally you'll pause the video for like 5 to 10 minutes and just do this reflective task. I don't want you to overthink it, and you'll notice that maybe in a few days, in a few weeks, you'll just, the seeds will be planted today, and then you'll start to think, your thinking will deepen around what your values are, and you'll have little light bulb moments, etc. So don't overthink it, but just spend 5 to 10 minutes. Because to break down your values will get you to what you believe, and it will uncover some of those beliefs that are just not sitting right with you and they're not serving you. So for example, thinking of all the expectations that have been put on us through school, through family, through society, you know, to work really hard, get a good job, settle down, have a career in a certain path, to live a certain way. But, you know, within us, like, oh, well, I don't want to follow the family route of working in a shop or that line of business. Or, I don't really want to do a 9 to 5, or I'm not ready to get married yet, and those kind of things. And then what I'd like you to do as well is to start thinking about what are the values that you choose for yourself. So think about the 10 values that you choose for yourself, and why do you feel these values are important to you? Okay, let's move on to beliefs now. Okay, so this is a juicy one. What are beliefs? So basically, they are a set of assumptions or a strong opinion that we often defend. They're personal to us, based on what we've seen, what we've heard, what we've read, or what we've experienced. They can be true, but often very vague, and there's no science or shred of evidence to back them up. Now, I like this definition because it talks about the senses, and I just want you to consider this. The human brain is processing 11 million bits of data per second. So that's incoming through all our senses. So we are heavily, heavily overstimulated. And then when you consider that the conscious mind seems to only process about 50 bits per second. So out of 11 million bits of data, only 50 bits are being processed. So we have something called an inattentional blindness. So the stimulus that is available to us, that is in plain sight and often can be valuable to us, but we're just not seeing it. Another point to note is that all that informational stimulus passes through the brain, through our storage area. So you could say everything that comes through our senses is being doctored. It's been infiltrated through the memory. So it's open to a lot of interpretation. So basically, the complexity of the mind affects our justification of the truth. There's so much going on. And this is just really to illustrate that it's a very limited process. And equally, it will be very different for everybody, personal to where we are, what kind of person we are, what we've been through, how we think, how we process, and our nature and our character. There's so much individuality to it. And yes, with age, with time, with experience, they can change. You know, for example, I was raised in a house to be an atheist. I was just, you know, banned from talking about God or discussing anything to do with religion or spirituality at all. And then over time, I developed my own belief that in a creator, that I believed there was a creator. I believed that there was something greater than us and that we were a part of something greater. However, something in me was still resisting the common or the popular beliefs or the common and popular values as to how we develop that relationship with God. So, some believe going to church is really important, whereas I believe it's a personal thing. So my values can differ on that. And the point is, it's an individual feature. My truth is not going to be your truth, and your truth is not going to be my truth. Okay, so last point on beliefs. They are contextual. They arise from our learned experiences resulting from the cultural and environmental situations we have faced. Okay, I just want to go back to how our senses are so overstimulated and heavily influenced by our memories. I just want to share a picture with you. So some of you might have seen this before. So what do you see? An old woman or a young woman? Apparently there is some research that suggests we process this face through an age bias, so our own age bias. Young people are more likely to see a young woman, and older people are more likely to see an older woman. Again, that's just another quick example of the complexities of how we interpret stimulation. And also to illustrate the point that, sometimes we expect people to think like us, and we don't understand when people don't agree with us or don't see things the way we see it. We're often, in defending our own interpretation based on our individual experience. But just remember, your lens is unique. And it's just slightly off on a tangent, but it's just useful to consider as a growth mindset without judgment. Okay, so last activity on beliefs. So again, I just want you to pause the video for 5 to 10 minutes and just answer these questions. So what negative beliefs are you holding on to? And again, think about how I said earlier, you can break it down into the different areas. So you could break it down in terms of what you believe about yourself, what you believe about career and relationships, about love, all those areas. And if you're still struggling to identify those negative beliefs, just ask yourself what it is you love about yourself and what it is you don't like about yourself. And therein lies a lot of negative beliefs. And then just ask yourself, what evidence do you have? Are they true? Is it what you've inherited? Is it what you've been gifted by other people? And then how can you delete or replace them? How can you change them into something that's going to actually serve you? So instead of like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do in life because I don't know what I'm good at, you can change that around to, I'm going to discover new experiences to find my true passion. Okay, so I just want to leave you with a couple more slides about the impact of not deleting and removing your negative limited beliefs. So this last one is just to really hit home the damage they can do to your psyche. So they're creating a people to look through. And remember I said earlier that we do not have full vision, even with perfectly working senses. So we can attribute most, if not all, our results based on the quality of our beliefs. And that's just something for you to reflect on. So in conclusion, beliefs and values are interrelated. I just hope this video has given you greater awareness about the importance of beliefs and values, and that it can lead to a confusion-free life. And the fact that clarity between values and beliefs can bring a significant and positive change in society. And remember, if we want to change the world, we have to start with the person in the mirror. So there you have it. And I do hope this video is going to help you unplug some of those limiting beliefs. Okay, and now next steps. What can I do about it? Well, you can start becoming the observer. Start identifying those limiting beliefs and look at what evidence you have. And you decide to delete or reframe. Now, you can do this alone, or you can contact me to find out how coaching can speed up that process and help you start living a more positive, purposeful, and productive life. The point is, a lot of people say, I don't need a coach, I can do it on my own. Yes, you can. I totally agree and believe that you can do it. However, people just do not push themselves as much as an independent person would. So you say you're going to do something and then you don't do it, and it's like, oh, it's fine, it's okay, I can do it next week. There's no accountability. There's no urgency. So yes, you can do this alone, of course you can. But if you're ready to step up and change things now so that your future can be so much more positive, can be so much more brighter, then yeah, drop me an email and we can discuss how we can get you into a better place sooner. Again, I really hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Please leave me your comment and your takeaways. Take care. Till the next one. Bye.